Assalamu alaikum. This is Kamran Sultan, and welcome to NLP in the Light of Islam. Today is session number 1, and आज के session में I'll talk about what Neuro Linguistic Programming is and just how you can use it to become a better Muslim. Now, NLP, as I said, it stands for Neuro Linguistic Programming. It basically studies effects of thoughts on human behavior. Okay, how our thinking affects our actions, our behaviors. And in दोनों के बीच में जो connection है, the connection between thoughts and behavior is our communication, okay, the linguistics part of it. So in NLP, we don't study effective communication. We talk about effects of communication, effects of my communication on you, and effects of my communication on myself. So it's both interpersonal and intrapersonal communication. Okay. So whatever we say, our words have power. Okay. Words are really powerful. Just think about this. You and I, we have not seen Allah. We have not seen Rasulullah. But for us, Quran, which is Kalamullah, and Hadith, which is, the sayings of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So for us, words have very, very, strong impact. We start our day by reciting certain words. We end our day by reciting certain words that were taught by the Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So words have some really powerful effect on us. We'll talk about that as we go along this series, inshallah. But for today, I want you to understand a concept. Now, here's another thing. Whenever I'm running a program, I have a number of different themes running in those programs. I don't always, point out my themes, but for this specific program, I'll let you know one of the key themes. And the theme for this program is awareness. Because as Muslims, we've been ordered by Allah to have taqwa. Ittaqillah, Allah Ta'ala says at several places in the Quran. He orders us, ittaqillah, okay, to have fear of Allah. And another alim said, taqwa basically means, it also means that to have awareness, to live with this awareness that anything that you and I do, Allah knows that. Anything, any idea, any thought that passes my brain, Allah knows that. Anything that goes on in my chest, in my heart, Allah knows that. Living with that kind of awareness. NLP helps us become more aware of what our language, our communication is doing to us and what our communication is doing to other people. And it gives us some specific tools, some specific techniques, so we can have more flexibility in ourselves, so we can change, and as Allah Ta'ala, tells us, surely Allah doesn't change the condition of a nation until they change what's within them. So, that basically means that if you want to make any change, the resources to make those changes are already within us. We have to utilize those resources. We have to make ourselves better in order for things to get better for us. And NLP helps us get in touch with our own inner resourcefulness. So here's the quick lesson for today. And what I would want you to do is, after each of these lessons, I want you to spend some time thinking about them and implementing them in your life. That will be most useful for you. You see, in Islam, the biggest sin is lying. It's called the mother of sins. And you know what happens when we lie? When we use those words, when we utter those words of lying, it's not that we are deceiving other people. When even small white lies that we sometimes say. Also, for example, we see a person, somebody asks us, so what do you think about my shirt? And rather than being honest and being truthful, we, create small white lies just to make them feel good. But what happens is, when we are lying, you see, there's this aspect of our personality, which is like physical. And then there is another aspect of our personality, which is metaphysical, which is invisible. And, if you want to understand, so we have a conscious, existence and aware, and then we also have an unconscious existence, the inner self. So every time you and I lie, we are telling our inner selves, because even though the other person may not know that we are lying, we do know that we are lying. And when we are lying, we are telling ourselves that you don't mean what you say. Think about this. Every single time when you tell someone something which you don't really mean, you are telling yourself that you don't mean what you say. And as a result of that, if we do that long enough, a time comes when we feel our prayers are not accepted. Because when we are praying, we are basically deep inside have formed this understanding, formed this belief. We don't mean what we are saying. So if you want to become a better Muslim, the first thing that you need to do is become aware of yourself lying. Notice every time, any time that you lie. Sometimes it happens you're with a child and you want to make your child feel good, and you tell your child, I'll do such and such thing for you. And you don't really mean it. Sometimes we lie with our spouses. Sometimes people lie in their jobs. People lie in their businesses. People lie with their friends. Just to look good, they lie on social media. But every single time you're lying, you are programming your brain. You're creating a thought structure that basically is influenced by this idea that you don't believe, you don't mean what you say. And it has an effect on the actions that you produce. Okay, so a thought which is based on lies, expressed in words, linguistics. Okay, and the thought is based on something, it's like which is not true, expressed in words, and has an effect on your actions, on your behaviors. And if you keep running a program, and if you keep repeating a pattern, it becomes a pattern, it becomes a program. Okay, Neuro Linguistic Programming. Through your language, you're programming your brain, you're giving yourself patterns of thinking and behavior that will end up in creating experiences in life that you perhaps never wanted. So my friend, my brother, my sister, the first thing I want you to do is stop lying. Stop lying to other people. Stop lying to yourself. And yeah, that will be the best thing that you can do to yourself. And inshallah, that will help you get closer to Allah. Stop lying. Okay, stop telling those small white lies. If you have to say something good, or just be quiet. Okay. In my classes, I often tell my students, be brutally honest. Okay. Now, I don't know everyone's situation. I don't know if everyone can really understand what being brutally honest means. I'm not talking about being rude. I'm talking about telling the truth. And if you can't tell the truth, it's better that don't say anything. It's much better than lying. I hope this is useful. And inshallah, I'll see you tomorrow in the next session. Do let me know in your comments what you think about today's lesson. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.